Good morning and welcome back to Everything Tumbler Tutorials. Today I have such a fun pinkish Christmas tumbler that I am going to show you how we're going to do. I am going to be using angel dust, which has become a new favorite of mine. I'm not going to lie. This is from AV Designs, and all the pattern vinyl that I'm going to be using for this beautiful design is also from AV Designs. I am using a 30-ounce straight for this tumbler today, so I already knew mathematically I would need to size down all my bits of vinyl down to 2 inches. So I start off by wrapping the Christmas tree pattern down here at the bottom, and again, I'm doing it in such a way to where I don't have to trim this with a cutter later. So you will notice as I proceed with wrapping the vinyl around the tumbler, I'm just going to use my scissors and go ahead and cut off the ends. Once I have all 3 pieces layered upon each other, I will then take my X-Acto knife to trim down the seams so I have a flawless edge. Placing my vinyls, I typically will cut off about 1 inch, maybe 2 of the backing of the vinyl, and then I will anchor my vinyl onto my tumbler and very carefully pull the backing off as I lie my vinyl into place. At this point, I don't really worry too much about air pockets, as I already know that I can go back with my X-Acto knife and or my weeding pen and pop them out. Who doesn't love pink for Christmas? And this tumbler could be done in so many different ways. In fact, when you're layering your vinyls, you can actually go ahead and leave 1 inch or 1/2 inch or whatever you want in between each vinyl placement and glitter in between those as well. So there's so many different ways in which you could use this vinyl, and it would be absolutely stunning. So once we get this 3rd vinyl in place, eventually, then we're going to go ahead and use our measuring tape or whatever you feel comfortable with as a guide to go ahead and use your X-Acto knife to then make a nice straight seam. I really also want to point out that I don't want you guys to stress if things don't line up spot on. As you can see, I have a little bit of a lip right there with my vinyl, but that's okay. Once I straighten out my seam, I'm going to go ahead and trim that off. If you don't feel comfortable doing this next step, you can absolutely leave that teeny tiny bit showing, because we're just going to go ahead and mask off the entire tumbler anyways, and we're going to spray paint to glitter. Once you have everything masked off, now we're going to go ahead and spray paint the tumbler a solid white from Rust-Oleum, and it's time to glitter. Typically, when I'm using the spray paint as my adhesive for my glitter, I don't need to do more than 1 coat. However, if you find yourself in a situation where you feel like you need another coat of glitter, no problem. Take it back out and spray it with Clear Seal from Rust-Oleum really well, come back inside and re-glitter it. And then you must allow that to fully dry before moving on. Once you are happy with your glitter application, it's time to go ahead and tap off all that excess glitter. Then we're going to go ahead and remove all the masking tape right away. Let this fully dry, and then you're going to take it right back out and Clear Seal it with Rust-Oleum a couple of times just to lock in that glitter so it doesn't contaminate our vinyl on our first coat of epoxy. Once our Clear Seal and our spray paint has completely dried, it's now time to do our first coat of epoxy. For my first coat of epoxy, I am going to be using Counterculture DIY's Fast Set. I usually wait about 3 hours before moving on to the design phase of my tumblers, but your times could vary depending on your craft space, temperature, as well as the epoxy that you're using. Once you're happy with your epoxy coat, make sure you use your heat torch to pop any bubbles you may or may not be able to see. Once your tumbler is cured, we're ready to move on to the best part of the tumbler, which is the design. For this design, I am going to be using the Merry and Bright decal from AB Designs. I absolutely adore this decal and it's so stinking cute. And of course, it matches perfectly. You may also notice that I also added a nail tape around my stripe ends, and it is a glitter nail tape from AB Designs. Once you are finished with all of your decals, it is now time to go in for a coat of epoxy, and this tumbler did not need to be sealed first. For this coat of epoxy, I am again going to go in with Counterculture DIY's Fast Set. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this pink Christmas tumbler. If so, drop me a comment down below and let me know. If you decide to recreate this tumbler, be sure to tag me so I can see your recreations. And don't forget, once you're satisfied with your coat of epoxy, be sure to use your heat torch to pop any bubbles you may or may not be able to see. And here she is, fully completed. I absolutely love this tumbler so much. I hope that you guys did too. If you enjoyed this tutorial, please hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more tutorials coming soon. I would like to thank each and every single one of you for watching. And until next time, Merry Christmas.